minasan, konnichiwa, jamu desu, and welcome to Hikari Online Class. For today's lesson, pag-aaralan natin ang grammar discussion, lesson 22. Are you ready? Dewa hajimemashou. So we will gonna start from noun modification. So you already learned how to modify nouns in lesson 2 and lesson 8. So as you can remember, napag-aralan na natin to how modify the nouns into the past, lesson 2 and lesson 8, just like the example here. This is the lesson 2, Mr. Miller's house. To make it a noun, so gagawin natin siyang Mira-san no uchi. Okay? Mira-san no uchi. Another. So in the lesson 8, we also modify it by just like this. A new house using an adjective. Okay? So an adjective plus a noun, or adjective plus a noun, so that would be atarashi uchi. Atarashi uchi. While, for example, in the na adjective, you could say a beautiful house. So when combining a na adjective and noun, so you just put na in the na adjective. Just like a beautiful house in Japanese would be kirei na uchi. Okay? And in Japanese, whatever modifies a word, whether it's a word or a sentence, it always comes before the word to be modified. Okay? So, kung ano yung minumodify natin is always comes before the word kung ano yung minumodify niya. So, here in the lesson 22, you will gonna learn another way to modify nouns. Okay, so let's start from noun modification by sentences. Okay, so i-modify natin si noun through sentences. So the predicate of the sentence which modify a noun is in the plain form. Okay, kung ano yung nagmo-modify ng noun natin dito, so dapat naka-plain form siya. So in the case of the na adjective sentences, the becomes na. So si the ay nagiging na sa na adjective, and in the noun sentences, the becomes no. Si noun naman ay nagiging particle no. Okay, so example here, Kyoto e iku hito. A person who goes to Kyoto. Okay, so our verb here is iku. So in Japanese, that would be Kyoto e iku hito. Kyoto e iku hito. Another, a person who does not go to Kyoto. Ang taong hindi pumupunta sa Kyoto. Kyoto e ikanai hito. Kyoto e ikanai hito. Another, a person who went to Kyoto. A person who went to Kyoto. Kyoto e ita hito. Ang taong pumunta ng Kyoto. Okay? And last, a person who did not go to Kyoto. A person who did not go to Kyoto. Ang taong hindi pumunta ng Kyoto. Kyoto e ikanakata hito. Kyoto e ikanakata hito. Okay, as you can see, nagiging plain form yung minomodify natin. Okay? Next is to modify noun or other examples to how to modify noun by sentences. So here, a child who eats vegetable. A child who eats vegetables. So our verb here is eat, which is in a plain form, that would be taberu. So that would be in Japanese, yasai o taberu ko. Yasai o taberu ko, or yasai o taberu kodomo. Okay? Another, a person who does not buy flowers. Buy is kaimasu. So it is negative, so that would be in a plain form, kawanai. So in Japanese, hana o kawanai hito. Hana o kawanai hito. Another, a person wearing a hat. A person wearing a hat. Wearing is present continuous. So dapat naka-verb te emas. And that would be kabutteimasu. To make it plain form, that would be kabutteiru. So that would be, let's make the sentence as boshi wo kabutteiru hito. Boshi wo kabutteiru hito. Okay? So, ganyan lang po, magmamodify ng noun by sentences. So, another is adjective and noun examples. Okay, now dito naman is how we modify it using the adjective and noun examples. So, let's start our example. A person who is tall and has black hair. A person who is tall and has black hair. So, our noun here is a person. Our adjectives here is tall and black hair. Okay? So, se ga takakute, kame ga kurui hito. Se ga takakute, kame ga kurui hito. Another, a person who is kind and pretty. A person who is kind and pretty. Our noun here is the person. Our adjectives is kind and pretty. So, shinsetsu de kirei na hito. Shinsetsu de kirei na hito. Another, a person who is 65 years old. 65 歳の人. 60歳の人. Okay, so that is how we modify adjectives and noun examples. So as you can see, if it's e-adjective, so sunumama lang siya. Nananatili lang siya kung ano yung kasunod niya. While in the na-adjective, so nilalagyan natin si na, just like the second example. Shinsetsu de kirei na hito. Okay? While on the noun, as I said, kung noun siya, lalagyan natin si da, magiging no. Okay, so, like in the last example, a person who is 65 years old, that would be 65 歳の人. So, my particle no siya between two nouns. Okay? Okay? So, nouns which are various elements of the sentence are picked out of it and can be modified by it. So, for example, like here, watashi wa senshu ega o mimashita. Nakakita or nanood ako ng movie last week. While on the other side, watashi ga senshu mita ega. Okay? Ang movie na napanood ko last week. So, nagiging noun na siya, or buong noun na siya na tinutukoy mo. Imas. Another, wansang wa byoen de hataraite imasu. So you can make or pick out of it and modify making wansang ga hataraite iru byoen. So our first sentence here, wansang wa byoen de hataraite imasu. Si Juan ay nagtatrabaho sa hospital. While if we will make or modify it as a noun, nagiging wansang ga hataraite iru byoen. Okay, so ang hospital kung saan nagtatrabaho si Juan. Okay? So nagiging subject na siya or nagiging buong noun na siya. Another, watashi wa ashita tomodachi ni aimasu. Watashi wa ashita tomodachi ni aimasu. So, to make it or modify it, watashi ga ashita ao tomodachi. Watashi ga ashita ao tomodachi. Okay? So, watashi wa ashita tomodachi ni aimasu. Bukas ay imimit ko ang aking friend. While watashi ga ashita ao tomodachi, ang friend ko na imimit ko bukas. Okay? Ang friend na imimit ko bukas. Okay? So, nagiging buong noun na siya na tinutukoy mo. So, when the nouns underlined in examples above are modified, the particles o, de, ni, attached to them respectively are unnecessary. So, pag minomodify mo na or siya, so hindi mo na kailangan i-attach si particle o, de, or ni, for example. Okay? So, hindi na siya kailangan pa since nagiging buong tiwa na siya or nagiging buong noun na siya. Okay? Another example. Watashi wa kino kutsu o kaimashita. Watashi wa kino kutsu o kaimashita. Bumili ako ng sapatos kahapon. So, you can modify it by saying, kino watashi ga katta kutsu. Kino watashi ga katta kutsu. Ang sapatos na binili ko kahapon. Okay? Naintindihan ba? First sentence, watashi wa kino kutsu o kaimashita. So, nagiging complete sentence siya. Meaning, bumili ako ng sapatos kahapon. While on the second sentence, kino watashi ga katta kutsu. Ang sapatos na binili ko kahapon. So, nagiging subject mo na siya or nagiging buong noun na siya. Okay? Another. Haha wa mainichi asa gohan o tsukurimasu. Haha wa mainichi asa gohan o tsukurimasu. Ang mama ko ay gumagawa ng breakfast every day. Okay? So, you can modify it by mainichi haha ga tsukuru. Mainichi haha ga tsukuru. Okay? So, ginagawa ni mama araw-araw. Okay? Another, the noun modified by a sentence, just like the house where Mr. Mill lived, can be used in the various parts of a sentence. So, pwede mong gamitin ang noun na na-modified into a sentence. Just like the example here. Kore wa Mira-san ga sunde ita uchi. So, that would be, this is the house where Mr. Miller lived. Kore wa desu ne. So, this is, then, the house where Mr. Miller lived. Kore wa Mira-san ga sunde ita uchi desu. Okay, another. Okay. Mira-san ga sunde ita uchi wa furui desu. Okay. Mira-san ga sunde ita uchi wa furui desu. Okay. The house where Mr. Miller lived is old. Mira-san ga sunde ita uchi wa furui desu. Okay, another. You can use it also by saying, Mira-san ga sunde ita uchi o kaimashita. Mira-san ga sunde ita uchi o kaimashita. I bought the house where Mr. Miller lived. Okay? Another. Watashi wa Mira-san ga sunde ita uchi ga suki desu. Watashi wa Mira-san ga sunde ita uchi ga suki desu. I like the house where Mr. Miller lived. I like the house where Mr. Miller lived. Okay? And another. You can also use it as Mira-san ga sunde ita uchi ni neko ga imashita. Mira-san ga sunde ita uchi ni neko ga imashita. There is a cat in the house where Mr. Miller lived. There is a cat in the house where Mr. Miller lived. Okay? And last, Mira-san ga sunde ita uchi e ita koto ga arimasu. Mira-san ga sunde ita uchi e ita koto ga arimasu. I've been to the house where Mr. Miller lived. I've been to the house where Mr. Miller lived. Okay? So, pwede mong gamitin ang mga na-modified na noun natin through the sentence into various parts of a sentence. So, pwede mo siyang gamitin kahit sa like the different examples here. So, nagiging buong diwa, siya nagiging buong thought, siya nagiging buong noun, siya na tinutukoy mo. Okay? Okay, next is the noun ga. Okay, noun ga. When a sentence modifies a noun, the subject in the sentence is indicated by ga. So, using the noun or the modified noun, so yung subject natin ay ginagawa natin particle ga. For example, Mr. Miller baked a cake. Mira-san wa keki o tsukurimashita. Okay, so this is just a normal. Okay, so when modifying it, so gagawin natin okay, Mira-san ga tsukutta keki. So we can make it kore wa Mira-san ga tsukutta keki desu. This is the cake baked by Mr. Miller. This is the cake baked by Mr. Miller. Okay, and another example for that. Watashi wa Karina-san ga kaita e ga suki desu. Watashi wa Karina-san ga kaita e ga suki desu. Okay, so yung e is our subject, or kaita e is our subject, so that's why it is particle ga. Another. Anata wa kare ga omareta tokoro shitemasu ka? Anata wa or kare ga omareta tokoro shitemasu ka? So you're asking kung alam mo ba ang lugar kung saan siya ipinanganak? Okay, so ganun lang po gamitin si noun ga kung siya yung subject ng mino-modify na noun natin sa sentence. Okay? So next is the fourth part of this lesson. Here is the verb dictionary form, jikan, yakusoko, in yoji. Okay, jikan is time, yakusoko is promise, yoji is appointment. So when expressing the time of doing some activity, put the dictionary form of the action before jikan, yakusoku, or yoji. So, gagamitin mo lang or gagawin mo lang dictionary form yung verb natin at ilalagay mo before either the time, the yakusoku, or the yoji. Just like the example here. Watashi wa asa gohan o taberu jikan ga arimasen. Watashi wa asa gohan o taberu jikan ga arimasen. That means, I have no time to eat breakfast. So, in our sentence, the verb here is eat. So, ginawa natin siyang dictionary form, which is taberu, and we add jikan. So, that makes the sentence as taberu jikan ga arimasen. I have no time to eat breakfast. Okay? That, you can also say that the content of the arrangement, just like appointment, promise, or etc., by putting the dictionary form of that action before yakusoku or appointment. Just like the example here, watashi wa tomodachi to eiga o neru yakusoku ga arimasu. Again, watashi wa tomodachi to eiga o neru yakusoku ga arimasu. So, that means that I have a promise to watch a movie with my friend. Okay? So, yung verb natin dito is watch movie or meru, mimas. So, ginawa natin siyang meru, then you add yakusoku, which is the promise. Okay? Na yung action na promise mong gawin. Another is, kyo wa shiyakusho e iku youji ga arimasu. Kyo wa shiyakusho e iku youji ga arimasu. I have an appointment to go to the city hall tomorrow. I have an appointment to go in the city hall today. Okay? So, may appointment ka, napupunta ka sa city hall ngayon. So, yung action mo is pupunta ka. Which is pupunta sa... Okay, so yung action mo here, so yung action dito, or the verb here, is that pupunta ka ng city hall today. So, that means 今日は市役所行く. And then, 用事 because that is your appointment. And then, ga arimasu. Okay? Since that is the subject na kung anong meron kang appointment. Okay? So that's the end for our lesson 2. So I hope you learned something today, especially in modifying noun in a different ways. So it could be an adjective, it could be through by sentences, and through different verb or plain form. Okay? So see you again next time, minasan. Ganbatte ko na.